Okay, so hello friends, myself Shrikant here, and today we have new guest Rishikesh Brahme. We have worked in my earlier companies. So before we start, let's go to Rishikesh's LinkedIn profile. So yeah, so Rishikesh Brahme, currently working as a principal software test engineer too in ConnectWise. And let's go through his experience first. So, Rishikesh started from NIT Limited as assistant network admin, then in Capgemini as associate consultant, then in Apurva as associate quality lead, in Emerson Network as a test lead, then in Avalara as a SDET, then in Nice System as a senior special quality engineer, and currently is working in ConnectWise as a principal quality engineer. So, welcome Rishikesh. Can you please
Thanks, Shrikant.
introduce?
Yeah.
Can you please
So,
introduce?
yeah, myself, Rishikesh, and Shrikant has already mentioned the number of years of experience. I have near about 21 years of experience in software testing, which includes the manual testing, performance testing, automation testing, and yeah, currently also I'm performing the testing job related to the same, and I'm working as a principal quality engineer over here, software test engineer, and uh, in my experience I have seen um, a number of automation things, and the ways to automate, and how to test the performance of the application. So we can talk about it later, but that's it from my side, from introduction perspective.
All right, so let's get started. So, right, so we talked about your introduction, your journey, and key takeaways. So, let's talk about interview preparation. That is the favorite topic for the audience to start with. So,
Yeah.
at your level, from your perspective, from your experience perspective, what are the top 2 to 3 things you would suggest people at, junior, senior, or test lead level to appear for interview and to mention in the CV?
Yeah, I would suggest that whatever are your strong points, like maybe the expectations are like the functional testing, non-functional testing, whatever you are the strong points, those should be highlighted. And the resume should be short and sweet. It should not be too big, or it should not be too small. Whatever the key things that you did in your previous organization, that should be mentioned. If it is a fresher, then highlight your academic project, so that interviewer can ask you about those things. Generally, whenever anybody is taking any interview, then um, he has a clear mind, like whether he has to select him or he has to reject him or she. So at that point, he needs some points, like why should I select him or why should I reject him. So if we showcase it in proper way, like these are my uh, um, the the strong areas where I have good confidence enough, and I can do it, and it's doable to me. Those things you can portray in a such a way that interview will get enough confidence, and the chances of getting to the next round or something like that will be more higher side. So while preparing the resume also, we need to make sure that it should be simple and sweet, and uh, you should mention whatever the things that you have done. Specifically in case of manual testing, instead of calling it as a manual testing, I would suggest it as a functional testing, because nowadays the concept of manual testing is gone, so better to call it as a functional testing, which includes the automation, because the core job is to test it, and making sure that we are delivering the quality product. So whatever in automation also, generally we have two parts. One is the UI automation, and another is the API automation. So you can mention clearly, like I know the API automation, maybe using the REST assured, maybe the karate framework or something like that. Or if you have a UI automation, you can clearly mention, I know the playwrights, or you can highlight about the Cypress or whatever. Or the, if we go to the near about older days, like we have a Selenium. If apart from that, if the person has a big experience, then the chances are the QTP or other automation tools. And in, if I'm considering the non-functional testing, then but obviously the JMeter or load runner, those things comes into the picture. So you should highlight those things, whatever you have strong knowledge of that domain. Or if you have a financial in domain perspective also, if you have a good understanding of any particular domain, insurance domain, finance domain, that also should be highlighted.
Okay, right. So short and sweet and domain related basic or important things should be highlighted. Okay,
Highlight.
right. So coming to the upskilling roadmap. So obviously at every level, everybody has to upskill themselves. But then uh, anything special you want to suggest, like how to upskill uh, themselves?
Yeah, in testing, whenever we say that in a software testing, the knowledge is, we should not keep our knowledge very limited to the testing or the UI automation or the API automation. That is the required, means it's mandatory that you should have a good understanding of API automation, you should have a good understanding of UI automation. But apart from that, you should good understanding of a database testing, the way it is written, how the architect is well designed, and the understanding that architectural part. So that nowadays we have architecture where we have some front end, we have some back end, but in between there is some messaging queues are present, like a Kafka, or we have a non-SQL database like a Cassandra, we have a Elasticsearch, we have OpenSearch. Those things are also come into the picture from the technology perspective. So we should not avoid the current technology, what are the current trends, what is happening in the market. So we should also cope up with those trends, so that interviewer will get a feel that the person has a learning ability, and he has upskilling, means the learning ability. Whatever the project requires, I'm ready to accept it, I'm ready to upskill those my skills. Whatever is not, I don't know, I am ready to accept it. So that is one of the key things. Apart from that, if person having the understanding of the deployment, where we are deploying, maybe the AWS, Microsoft Azure, or Google, wherever it is. So understanding those, that part is also very important. So the technology and the core things, whatever requires, are two different things. So API automation, functional testing, and UI automation, it's mandatory. You don't have any option, it's mandatory, you should have those skills. But upskilling skills are something different, which are related to the current technology and current trends. So we should focus on that.
Okay, so apart from the mandatory things, we should always strive to explore the relevant other items, so that more and more skills you have, your chances are more to get selected, or in job also you can get more opportunities to showcase your talent and showcase your skill. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Right. Coming to a little core topic, because we both have worked in different live projects and companies. So what are the typical top 2 to 3 challenges you see from QE perspective, and then obviously how to overcome them, or what is a workaround?
Yeah, so I would say, if we take any example, like we can we have different topics, like uh, applications like the e-commerce libraries, or e-commerce applications are there. So with the help of which we can also do the testing. And generally we can take that as an example. So whenever we have um, any application to be tested, suppose I'm taking an application like an e-commerce application. Again, in that, again, if I'm considering the checkout model testing or something like that. So here we should make sure that all the functionalities, like cart state validation, or address shipping details, or payment method, payment processing, is one of the examples I'm taking over here. But those functional aspects are covered, and we should stick to the acceptance criteria. Suppose I'm taking an example of a cart state validation. So if it is mentioned that ensure that the shipping cart accurately reflects and selected items and quantities and prices before the checkout process begins. So if this is the acceptance criteria, then we should focus on our test cases writing based on this acceptance criteria. And this is the one of the thing that, so for us what is important is an acceptance criteria. So accordingly to that, whatever the requirement is, that we should write our test cases, and then whatever it is, a functional testing or it's a or a non-functional testing, that comes later. But for us what is important is the acceptance criteria.
Okay, so you're saying from the challenge perspective, sticking to the acceptance criteria is important
Very
uh,
very important, yes,
because
because we have for tester it is the testing is unlimited activity. So if we are stick to the acceptance criteria, our job will be much more easy, and we can focus on the actual part of the testing. But obviously though unit testing has been done by the development team, and we should do the system and integration team, and we should find out the bugs which are not specific to the models, but if any different model has those bugs, we should also highlight those bugs. That is important. But our job is to stick to the acceptance criteria, write those test cases according to that, and do the functional testing. And if we are getting any bugs apart from our model, then also we should highlight it. It's our job.
okay, okay. Requirement, sticking to requirement. Any other thing you want to highlight, like top two to three? So one is requirement thing.
Yeah, the day-to-day active day-to-day life, the testers generally see the challenges like the instant automation. That is one of the things. Then the performance testing, as well as the build given by the developer is not on time. Build has a lot of bugs which are not getting covered in unit testing. That's why we are over here. But the time is very limited. So to overcome the issues like a time, the only way is an automation. So automation, why do we need automation? It generally uh, uh, automation is not a fancy term nowadays. It is mandatory. Why it is mandatory? Because of the time, because we need to do the releases very fast. We have very less period of time. If developer is giving you the build on Friday, so suppose today is Friday and I need to complete say 4 to 5 stories, but and there are n number of things I need to cover. So if I have a good automation, maybe the API or UI automation, I will keep everything ready by using some mock services or something like that, and make sure that by clicking on that automation, hardly in 10 to 15 minutes I will get the results, and I will ask developers, okay, these are the buggy part, please, I have raised this as a bug, please make sure that it gets fixed. I will run the automation again, and everything will be smooth, and we can deliver the projects on time, and the releases will happen very smooth. So these are the challenges, and to overcome those challenges, these are the ways we can uh, resolve it.
Okay, okay. Uh, so let's move on to the core agenda now. So, as you said, we will take an example of e-commerce as a case study, and probably say checkout module, or let's say search module, whichever is simple to understand. So let's relate one topic to that particular case study. Right. So let's say checkout module. So how much testing is required? Because testing is infinite. There are so
Right.
many combinations. So how much testing is required, and what areas we can quickly cover to find out defects, and what areas maybe we can skip in the interest of time or in the interest of resources.
So though we are considering say the checkout model, in the checkout model we have a cart state or we have a validation. So uh, for ensuring that the shopping cart whatever we have, that reflects the data correctly or not, whatever the items whatever he had chosen or she had chosen is reflected correctly or not, whatever the quantity, price, and the calculation whatever is happening is happening correctly or not. That is if I consider this as one of the example. And again, the first thing what I am told, like the acceptance criteria. So if I am writing all my test cases according to the acceptance criteria, it should get reviewed by the product owner also, or the business analyst also, if required, with the developer also. For us, how much the answer is how much testing is required. So if we if who is responsible for the testing and all those stuff, we will look into it. But if product owner has defined something in acceptance criteria, okay, these are the points which needs to get functionally covered in this particular story or this application, we should stick to that, and we should do the testing only for those according to that acceptance criteria. Then apart from that, if something else comes, we should raise it and should ask for creating a different change request. Otherwise what will happen, the people will keep on adding the functionalities at the last minute, and the testers will get very less period of time to test and disclose the bug. So sticking to the requirement, sticking to the things. Suppose if I'm considering the cart state, so in clear cut I should mention in my test cases, I will validate whether the my shopping cart had the correct quantity whatever is given been selected by the user. I have the correct price or not, whatever the checkout price whatever is coming is correctly displaying or not. So if that is the functionality, then I should cover all those points in my test cases, and I should according to that I should do the automation, maybe the UI automation or the API automation. If I'm considering example of the cart state, so what obviously I should have some backend, I should have some APIs. So API should return me uh, return me was the values of the items. If I am calling the get items, then it should return me the correct items whatever is required. It should give me the correct prices also. So according to that, whatever the quantity will be given by the that is an input. If I'm passing that as an input, maybe in a post call or something like that, whether the price is getting correctly calculated at the time of checkout is happening or not, because this is at the API level should happen, and the same thing will be called by the UI. So if we do that testing at API level, our job will be more easy. If there may be some stories specific to the UI, those also we can do the testing later. But our scope should be defined very well according to the acceptance criteria, and make sure that only this is the scope what we have taken. You can prepare a test plan, you can highlight it to the other stakeholders, everything can be highlighted, and then once it is approved by the product owner or somebody else, then we can do the testing and complete the testing. Otherwise testing is unlimited activity.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well explained. So, right. So moving on. Uh, so we slightly discussed about automation. So let's talk about full-fledged about automation. Of course, there is manual testing which is never ending. But then what is the automation role here, and
Yeah.
how much it can improve the efficiency, overall efficiency?
Okay, so if we consider automation, as I told you, that there are two types of automations. One is API automation, another is UI automation. So unit testing coverage should be very high. So if though it is generally by the development team, but if we are covering those, then also it should be very high. At a component level, the unit testing should happen with good automation. But if we are doing the API automation with the system or integration where we are interacting with the other modules or something like that, then a complex calculation where comes into the picture, the automation plays an very and important role, because human being can make an error. Those can be avoided by the automation. If we have a solid code, if we have a solid scenarios and complex things, we should go with automation, and we should have proper trust on it. And this is one of the important aspect, that the complex calculation, please do the automation. Whenever you have repetitive work, repetitive things we need to do, we should do the automation. So the manual efforts will be very less, and let machine to do whatever it's supposed to do. So important thing is complex calculation. And wherever there is a repetitive work, whenever there is a one time activity, don't not required to spend too much time in automation, because automation has some cost. It requires time, it requires money, it requires some licenses, it requires some other different types of softwares. So not necessary. If company or the partner or customer is going to use it at only one time, don't try to spend your entire whatever the stories and or the sprint into that automation, if it is a one time activity. If it is going to happen as a regression activity, if it has a complex calculations, please do the automation properly, so that we can disclose those bugs very fast. And as I told, in sprint automation is required, because at the last minute we can if we have if everything is automated, the things will happen hardly in 5 to 10 minutes. But if we don't have a very good automation, to test the same things, or the manual testing will take too much time. So
Yeah.
that's what the importance of automation.
So one thing I want to highlight here. So let's take a practical case. So typically, what happens is, based on my experience, the UI may be developed early and the API later, or vice versa. So if if let's say API is designed early, we have the API automation ready, of course, manual testing and sign off and everything, and then when the UI is developed, and so let's say we want to log in and then search and then add to cart and then go to checkout module. Instead of that, because the APIs are ready, we can skip these earlier screens and we can directly load the checkout screen, and then have the checkout ready with whatever number of items or add remove items via API, so that we can directly land on that screen. So that will reduce a lot of time, lot of efforts, and we can do it quickly. So that is again coming to the importance of automation, that whatever things are ready,
Absolutely.
be ready, and then it will reduce your future time.
Absolutely. Absolutely right.
Yeah. Okay, moving on. So quality of the product. uh, so typically when we say QE engineer, quality engineer, uh, it is a, I would say, a common misconception that it is it is a responsibility of quality engineer only. Whereas it is not.
Hello.
So yeah, so what is your take on it?
Hello.
Yes, I can hear you. Yeah.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, Rishikesh, you can continue.
Who is responsible for quality?
Quality responsibility we are talking about.
Yeah. So who is responsible for the quality of the organization? So um, it is every time whenever the defects occurs, then generally it is blame to the quality engineer team or the quality engineer person that you escaped this, that's why we got this defect in the production. Though it is true, but I already informed that 100% testing is not possible, and if it is missed by the quality engineer, we should accept it and we should go ahead and make sure that the different the bug should not occur again. That is very important thing, and we should make sure that um, uh, those bugs are getting captured in our automation and everything also. But it is not the responsibility of quality engineering only. It is the responsibility of all the stakeholders, including from the person who is designing the documents, the person who is doing the architecture of the things, yeah, or if any designing of the application is been done, development team is there, product team is there, architectural team is there. So everybody is responsible for the quality of the product. It is not the responsibility only of quality engineering. Yes, what is the stake over here, like a quality engineer should make sure that the quality is present and assuring that the quality is present and we are not delivering the buggy product. So that is the responsibility of quality engineer. I'm not denying that, I'm not saying that the quality engineers are not responsible for anything. Yes, the quality engineers are responsible, but that is not the only, the product quality is not the responsibility only of quality engineer, but it's the responsibility of all the stakeholders. So uh, that is the clear answer. I hope
Yeah,
we can go ahead and move to the next topic.
yeah. Okay. So moving on. So slightly similar. So QE responsibility. Um, so
Yeah,
typically,
as I yeah.
yeah. So typically, it's just that validating the requirement given by the product owner or some responsible person. But apart from that, what else do you think are the responsibility of the QE?
Yeah, so making sure whatever is required to um, to deliver the product on time with quality is come under the QA's responsibility. So if we want to do the retesting, we should do it. We should, if we require to do the regression testing, because fixing a single thing or a single bug or a single code in an application will impact the entire application. So making sure that the regression is happening properly, highlight it properly. If there is a defect, we should say that this is a defect, we cannot go ahead with this defect. um, in in other words, I will say person has to person should have the ability to escalate it if the product is not fulfilling the requirement. So um, not to hesitate to say no or to stop the releases also if required. You should have the proper authority to stop it, because if if we are delivering the buggy product and you know that this is the buggy product and still I am delivering it, it's of no use. So you should highlight it, and the management and other stakeholders should also appreciate quality person that he has stopped it. Generally quality person don't get the appreciation, but if you know that, you should be genuine enough and you should say no. And if you are not comfortable, let build to break, but हम बोलते हैं ना, अपना जमीर को मत बेचो. So in that way, we should be honest enough about your product and say that if it is working, it is working, if it is not working, it is not working, and for that whatever is required, because all other things are not mandatory. If you don't have this behavior, nobody will respect you. If you are passing anything as is and you know that it is a buggy product, still if you are allowing the product to go ahead, then people will lose the trust. So you are the first person on whom people will trust first. If you are saying no, people should give you that respect. So the role and responsibility, apart from whatever the skills are required, the API automation, these are mandatory, it's required. But the behavioral skill what is important for is to say that this is no, yeah, this is the quality product and we should go ahead and we should release it. So stick to that. If it is failing, say and highlight it at where, if manager is not manager if manager is not accepting, go to the CEO level and CTO level, no worries, but don't compromise on quality.
Yeah. So one thing here I would like to highlight is, QE responsibility is not just the functional testing and other testing. It should be a bird's eye view, in the sense that our particular module or particular microservice or a particular project is going to fit in somewhere in the entire landscape of the entire company's product, range of products. So because of this delta change, because of this release, if something is going to break, and that may result in a bad customer review, or some negative impact or any sort of sentiment, so we should strictly highlight this as early as possible to the uh, all the management spectrum, that this is going to be a very key issue, if we release this. So that is again bird's eye view and highlighting the risk at a proper time, so that we are maintaining the quality and we are looking at a customer point of view. Our eyes are a customer's eyes. So if customer is paying for some XYZ functionality or utility or whatever, if customer is not getting that, or it is getting broken, or it is not consistent, then there is a problem. We might lose customer, we might have bad reviews, we might lose our um, stake in the market. So we should avoid that,
Absolutely, absolutely.
right? Okay. So I think it was a good discussion. We covered a lot of topics. So definitely, if time permits, we'll have consecutive sessions. But then, as of now, thanks for your time, Rishikesh, and uh,
Thanks, Shrikant.
mm, glad to see you again. Thank you.
Thank you, Shrikant. Bye.
Okay, so for all the audience, please like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Thank you.
Thank you.